Okay, welcome. Hope your TOEFL preparation is going well and you're enjoying the classes that we're running. Today we're going to be looking at speaking, in particular task 3, which is the summarize opinion task. So for this lesson, you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need a pen or pencil and a paper or a notepad because you're going to be listening and taking notes. And taking notes is going to be necessary for this particular task. With the summarized opinion task, you won't really be able to complete it unless you have taken notes. So grab a pen and paper. And you're also going to need your mobile phone because as part of the practice, you're actually going to be given a task and I'm going to give you a chance to speak. And I'd like you to record your answer into your smartphone. That way you can actually listen back to your answer and then you can use the evaluation rubric to actually evaluate your own response. Okay, so phone with your voice recorder ready. So I'm going to talk you through what you have to do for this particular task. So you're going to be given a passage which just talks about an issue, and the issue is usually going to relate to a campus situation. So a university or college campus and something to do with a change or an issue. Then you're going to hear two students discussing that issue, and they're going to be giving their opinion of what they think, and they're going to give you a few reasons for why they think that. After you've read the passage and heard the conversation, you're going to be given some time to prepare your response, and then you'll have to summarize the opinion of the speakers and explain why they hold this opinion. So your response is going to include the issue, what the issue is that was presented in the passage. You're going to state the opinion of the speakers that you're going to hear in the conversation. And then you need to summarize the reasons why they think that. Okay, let's take a look at the timing of this task. The passage is going to be displayed on your screen for 45 seconds. After that time, the passage is going to disappear from your screen and the audio will come up. The audio is usually between 60 and 90 seconds long, and you'll take notes as you listen. Then you're going to be given 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to speak. All right, so after 60 seconds, the recording will finish and it will basically cut you off. So you need to sort of give a full and complete response within 1 minute. Okay, as I said before, note-taking is a really important part of this task. So if this is a skill that you haven't really developed, it's something that you really want to practice. So I'm just going to show you a little note-taking template that might help you. So what I like to do is I like to divide my piece of paper into 2 columns, and I'll put the main ideas on the left and the details on the right. Now, usually with the speaking, there's usually 3 main ideas. It's the issue or the change or the problem that the students are discussing and their opinion on that. And then usually the students are going to give 2 reasons. So reason 1 and reason 2. All right. And then you'll write those down in the right-hand column. So you kind of know what you're listening out for already. So in terms of preparing your response, I've prepared a little sort of structure or a guide here that might help you. Let's take a look at a sample prompt first. After you hear the audio, a prompt like this will be displayed on the screen. The woman expresses her opinion of group work. State and explain her opinion. Compare her opinion with the opinion of the history department. So it tells you, firstly, what the woman does. She expresses her opinion. And then it tells you what you need to do, which is state and explain her opinion. And compare this with the opinion of the history department. So how do you give a full response? Well, you should do 3 things. The first thing you should do is give context, which means summarize the issue or the change that was presented in the reading passage. So this gives context, or basically forms almost the introduction to your response. So what is the issue or the change? The second thing you should do is state the opinion of the speakers. Do they agree with the change, or do they disagree with the change? And the third thing you need to do is explain that opinion. So give 2 reasons why they agree or disagree. So context, opinion, and then reasons. Okay, I'm going to give you now a practice task. I'm going to play you an audio. So you're going to hear 2 students discussing a campus-related issue. But before that, I'm going to show you the reading. So pens and papers ready. You should also take notes of the reading as well. So as you read, you can just write down sort of what the problem is and a couple of details related to why the change has been made. Because you won't be able to see the reading again. Once it's removed from the screen, it's going to disappear. So rather than just using your memory, you really want to use your notes. It's going to help you. Okay, get ready. Here is the passage. And your 45 seconds starts now. Okay, so 45 seconds is not a long time, so you really want to really skim and scan the passage. Just look for, really read the first line. The first line is going to have, it'll introduce the issue or the problem or the change, so you know what you're dealing with. And then you kind of want to skim through, just looking for important details. Don't worry about trying to understand everything that you read. You just want to get the general idea. Okay, time to listen. So now I'm going to play you a conversation between 2 students discussing the issue that you just read about. So pens and papers ready?
Thank gosh the history department has changed the assessment of group work. I had the worst time last semester with our medieval history project. I couldn't stand going through that again.
Why? What happened?
Well, there were 3 of us in the group. One guy worked really hard and did most of the work, but he was a control freak and didn't let anyone else do anything.
So you basically got a free grade?
Well, I didn't want to. I actually wanted to participate. I gave some really good ideas, but he kept disregarding them. In the end, I just gave up and let him do what he wanted. The other guy was a total waste of space when he was there. Actually, he barely even came to the meetings, and when he did, he was just on his phone the whole time.
Did you get a good grade?
Well, we got a B+, which is fair considering how little work I did. But I'm sure if he'd let me contribute, we could have got an A, so I was a bit frustrated with that.
Well, the new system should give you that opportunity to get the grade you deserve.
Yeah, I hope so, though I wish they'd get rid of group work altogether. All this organization and communication is just a waste of time. It's got nothing to do with history.
Okay, how did you go with the listening? What we're going to do now is take a look at the prompt again so that you know what you need to do. So here's the prompt. The woman expresses her opinion of group work. State and explain her opinion. Compare her opinion with the opinion of the history department. Now, you're going to get in the TOEFL test 30 seconds to prepare your response. Now remember, you want to give context, Give context. So explain what the issue is. Then you want to state the woman's opinion, if she's happy about the change or unhappy about the change. And then you want to give 2 reasons why. Okay, so 30 seconds. Preparation starts now. Okay, time is up. Now it's time for you to speak. So grab your phones and get your voice recorder ready, because I'm going to give you 60 seconds to record your response. Okay, time starts now. Okay, 60 seconds is up. How did you go with that? Just a note here, you should speak for 60 seconds. You should try to speak for 60 seconds. But if you finish a few seconds earlier, it's okay. You won't be penalized for finishing a few seconds early. Just as long as you do what the prompt tells you to do, that you give a complete answer by stating what the change to the policy is, by stating the student's opinion, and giving 2 reasons why she thinks that. All right, so as long as you do those things, if you finish in 50 seconds, it's not going to be a big deal. You're not going to lose marks for that. Okay, later on, after the lesson, listen again to your sample response so that you can hear yourself. Some people find it really uncomfortable to listen to themselves, but it's a good exercise to hear your pace. How quickly are you speaking? Are you speaking too fast, too slow? Are you using lots of ums and ahs? Have you given a complete and full answer? All right, it's a helpful exercise. So I'm going to now walk through a sample response with you. So I'm going to show you my notes and you can compare them to yours. So my reading notes here on the left side of the screen, the main idea was changes to the group work assignment. Okay, that was the issue or the change. The first reason given in the reading passage was because students complained about unfair marking and about unequal contribution to the project. And the second reason given was that tutors can't separate marks. Okay, so they're the reasons why the changes to group work were made. Then my listening notes are the student's opinion is about the change is happy. She's happy that the change has been made because she doesn't like group work. The first reason is that she's had a bad experience with group work, with a controlling student and a lazy student and unfair grading. The second reason why she's happy is because she thinks that the marking will be more fair, but she wishes that the department would abolish group work altogether because it's a waste of time and has nothing to do with history. Okay, let's take a look at my sample preparation. So the context is the history department changed group work. The opinion is that the student agrees with changing group work because she doesn't like it. The first reason is because the grading is unfair. Some students are either controlling or lazy. And she also wishes they would just totally abolish it because it's a waste of time. So this is going to be basically the foundation of my response. So let's listen now to a sample student response.
The history department has made changes to the way it assesses group work. The woman does not like group work. She was frustrated with her last experience because one group member took control of the whole project and did not allow her to contribute. She believes that they could have received a higher grade if she'd had the opportunity to contribute her ideas. But she understands that the grade was fair considering she didn't do any of the work. The history department's move to change the group work assignment is a positive thing, as it acknowledges the woman's and the other students' frustration with it for the same reasons she mentions. Though she hopes the new group work systems will result in fairer contribution and grading, she wishes that the department would abolish group work altogether. She believes that the time and effort it takes to arrange meetings is a waste of time and it has nothing to do with history.
Okay, so how did that response compare to yours? I'll let you read the response now. I'll present the text for you onto the screen, and I'll pop the timer on as well. Okay, so in the first sentence, the student gave context. So what was the change? The history department has made changes to the way it assesses group work. And the woman does not like group work. So she was frustrated. This is her opinion. She was frustrated with the group work. And she believes that she could have received a higher grade if she'd had the opportunity to contribute her ideas. So this is one reason why she doesn't like group work. And then the student said, the history department's move to change the group work assignment is a positive thing. So this is the student's opinion, as it acknowledges the woman's and other students' frustration. Though she hopes the new group work system will result in fairer contribution and grading, she wishes that the department would abolish group work altogether. Okay, so I've given here the context, I've given her opinion, and I've given some reasons why she thinks that. So this would be considered a complete response. So let's take a look at an evaluation. So the speaking is evaluated on a scale of 4, 1 being the lowest score and 4 being the highest. And they're looking for 3 things: delivery, language use, and topic development. So delivery is all about pace, how fast or slowly you speak, and as well as how fluently you speak. If you're stopping and starting, if you're taking long pauses, or if your speech just comes naturally. It also looks for accurate pronunciation. Language use is related to your use of grammar and vocabulary. So although you're allowed to make errors, they should be minor. The errors shouldn't cause difficulty for the examiner. And topic development is related to your actual response, so that you answer the question, that you give a well-developed response, and that you connect your ideas. So what you can do is use this rubric or this evaluation table to evaluate your own response. So I'll just put it back on the screen again. You can take this opportunity to listen back to your response, compare it to the response that you heard, and also take a look at the scoring guide and see where you lie within that guide. So I'll give you 1 minute to do that. Okay, so obviously you would like to be somewhere between a 3 and a 4. What I suggest that you do is keep practicing. On our website, we've got plenty of practice tasks for part 3 and also other parts of the speaking test. A great way to practice is to time yourself, record your response, listen back, and use the evaluation table to evaluate your response. Really focusing on answering the question, using only the relevant or giving only relevant information in your response, and following a logical structure. So context, opinion, reasons. Okay, I'll answer some questions now if you have any. Let me just take a look. Right, so do you have any questions about what we looked at today in terms of the timing, the audios that you heard, note-taking, preparation time? Or you're all good? That was... So while you're thinking of any questions that you may have, there are 6 tasks in the speaking. And just to let you know that not all of the tasks are marked by the same examiner. So each task, task 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, are all sent to different examiners. And then the grade of all of those 6 is put together to form your speaking grade. So I guess that's a fairer way of your speaking being marked, because different people are looking at different tasks. So it ensures more transparency in the marking. Okay, in relation to improving your speaking skills relating to speed, if you're worried about speaking too slowly, it's just really practice. So you've only got 60 seconds. You don't want to rush it. You don't want to sort of power through it. You want to use natural pace. So the same pace that you would use when speaking in a conversation. You want to be careful not to sort of race against the clock, because you will see the 60 seconds ticking down. So try not to let that make you nervous or anxious and feel like you have to rush. The best way to improve speaking is to speak. Practice. Get your phone, record yourself, timing yourself in 60 seconds. The more you do it, the more you're going to get an idea for what 60 seconds feels like, and how fast or slowly you need to speak in order to fill that 60 seconds. Okay, if there's no more questions, I'll ask you a question. With these classes, what would you like to see more of, less of? Would you like me to slow down, speed up? Each week we're going to be looking at a different speaking task. So next week we're going to be looking at speaking task 4, and we'll follow the same format. Well, I'll show you a sample sort of structure to present your presentation. I'm going to give you a sample task. You can speak, record your answer, and also look at the rubric to evaluate your response. Does this format suit everybody? Okay, great. So each week you're going to get a chance to practice, but I suggest that you also do some additional practice outside of this class. So using the practice tasks that are on the website, there's plenty of those. There's lots of sample questions, lots of sample responses, and lots of activities for you as well. Another piece of advice that I can give you just in general to practice your speaking, try to meet with other people like you, if you have other friends who are preparing for the TOEFL as well, and listen to each other's responses and give each other feedback. So even if you meet over coffee or meet at somebody's house, you can find lots of these on our website, sample questions. Time yourself, speak to your friend, let them give you feedback, and then switch roles. So that's a good way to sort of make practice also a little bit more fun. A lot of the speaking tasks are related to opinion, so giving your opinion on something, or they're related to reading a short academic text or listening to a short academic lecture and then summarizing them. So each day you can read a short article. There's plenty of articles online, websites like Science Daily, like National Geographic. They deal with more sort of academic topics. So you can read and then maybe practice telling your friend about what you've read, so summarizing that. So you'll learn lots of skills there, reading skills, how to think quickly and recall information that you've just heard or read, because that's also a skill you're going to need for these tasks. And it also practices speaking and building your vocabulary. So practice tasks related to the test are great, but also more general tasks to build your skills are also really going to help you. Okay, yes, you can practice by yourself, of course. You can practice by yourself. You can practice recording yourself on your phone and listening back. I just suggested to do it with a partner if you wanted to sort of make it a little bit more fun, and also to get feedback from someone as well could be helpful. Most of you are preparing for the TOEFL for study or for immigration. So how many of you are preparing for the TOEFL for study purposes? Both. Okay, and are you all preparing to go to the US, or which countries are you preparing to go to, or are you already in? Okay. So Australia and the US. All right. Interesting. And how many of you have taken the test before, or is this the first time? Wow, first time for everybody. Okay, good. So you're doing the right thing by coming to classes, because the best thing that you can do for the test, the best way to prepare yourself for success is to practice and come to these classes and do the tasks. So well done for taking that step. All right, guys, if there's no more questions or concerns, we'll leave it there and Jay will see you on Thursday for a writing class, and I'll be back with you again next week for Speaking Task 4. Okay? Happy studying. See ya.